Hey, I'm Papa Knowledge. Welcome to my son channel, The Power of Knowledge. Get ready to be amazed.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Power of Knowledge. If your computer's been acting slow, freezing up, or just not keeping up, today's video might be exactly what you need. We're talking about RAM, what it is, why it matters, and how it can totally change your device's performance. So, what is RAM? RAM stands for Random Access Memory, and it's basically your computer's short-term memory. It stores the stuff your system needs right now, like open apps, browser tabs, and background processes. The more RAM you have, the more your computer can handle without breaking a sweat. Think of it like this. RAM is your digital workspace. A small desk means you're constantly shuffling papers around. A big desk, you've got room to spread out, multitask, and move fast. That's why upgrading your RAM can make your computer feel brand new, even if it's a few years old. But how much RAM do you really need? Is 8 gigabytes enough? Should you go for 16 gigabytes or even 32 gigabytes? We'll break it down based on what you do, whether you're gaming, editing, videos, or just browsing the web. And here's the kicker. RAM isn't just about speed. It's about efficiency, productivity, and getting the most out of your tech. So if you've ever asked, why is my computer so slow? This video is your answer. Stick around, because we've got tips, visuals, and a few surprises to help you understand RAM like never before. And before we move on, a big shout out to Papa Knowledge for dropping in today. Your wisdom always brings the fire, and we love having you on the channel. Ever clicked on something and waited, and waited, and waited? Your computer's not broken, it's probably just starving for RAM. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most misunderstood parts of your computer, RAM, what it is, why it matters, and how it can literally change your digital life. You've probably heard people say you need more RAM, or this computer's slow because of the RAM. But what does that really mean? RAM stands for Random Access Memory. It's your computer's short-term memory. It says fast, temporary, and constantly changing. Unlike your hard drive, which stores data long-term, RAM is where your system keeps the stuff it's actively using. It helps your system run smoothly by temporarily storing the data your computer is actively using. Open a browser tab. RAM. Launch a game. RAM. Edit a video. RAM. It's the unsung hero behind everything you do. The more RAM you have, the more tasks your computer can juggle at once, like having a bigger desk to spread out your work. Here's where things get juicy. More RAM means more multitasking, less lag, faster load times, smoother gameplay, efficient editing, even better battery life in some cases. Let's clear up a common myth. RAM is not storage. Your 1 terabyte hard drive doesn't help if your RAM is maxed out. Think of RAM as your workspace and storage as your archive. You need both, but they serve totally different purposes. Ever hear someone say, "I've got tons of storage, so why is my computer so slow?" Well, now you get it. Whether you're gaming, editing videos, or just surfing the web, knowing about RAM can really help you get the most out of your device. RAM, or Random Access Memory, works hand in hand with your operating system to keep your computer running smoothly. When you power on your device, the operating system loads essential files into RAM so it can access them quickly. This includes system processes, drivers, and background services that keep everything functioning behind the scenes. As you open apps, browse the web, or run programs, the operating system uses RAM to temporarily store the data those tasks need. Instead of constantly pulling information from the slower hard drive, it keeps it in RAM where access is lightning fast. This allows for quick switching between tasks, smooth multitasking, and responsive performance. When RAM fills up, the operating system has to make tough choices, like moving less used data to virtual memory on the hard drive, which is much slower. That's why having more RAM gives your operating system more breathing room, helping it juggle tasks efficiently without slowing down. In short, RAM is the operating system's high-speed workspace. The more space it has, the better your system can perform, especially when you're multitasking or running demanding applications. Alright, let's dive into RAM sizes. What's the ideal RAM size for you? Is it 4 gigabytes? That's really the bare minimum, just enough for casual browsing and emails. Think of it like digital training wheels, you know? Perfect for light tasks. 8 gigabytes is pretty solid for everyday stuff. It's smooth for browsing, work, and casual media, a real all-rounder. 16 gigabytes, built for gamers, creators, and multitaskers. Handles heavy apps without breaking a sweat. 32 gigabytes plus, perfect for video editing, 3D modeling, and serious multitasking. If you build worlds, this is your canvas. Now let's move on to, can you upgrade RAM, and should you? So, thinking about upgrading your RAM? You might be sitting on the easiest performance boost your computer's ever seen. RAM upgrades can breathe new life into slow systems, speed up multitasking, and make your device feel brand new without breaking the bank. But should you upgrade? That depends. Not all computers are built for it, especially slim laptops or sealed systems. You'll need to check your specs, how many RAM slots you have, what type of RAM your system supports, and how much it can handle. If your computer's lagging, freezing, or struggling to keep up with your workflow, a RAM upgrade might be the smartest move you can make. It's fast, affordable, and often just a screwdriver away. So, before you toss your old device or spend big on a new one, let's talk RAM. It might be the upgrade you didn't know you needed. Next up, RAM myths and misconceptions. RAM is one of the most misunderstood components in a computer, and misinformation can lead to wasted money, poor performance, or unnecessary upgrades. In this video, we break down the most common myths and misconceptions about RAM. Here's a common myth. Just adding more RAM doesn't always mean your device will run faster. Here's the deal. Once you hit a certain point, adding more RAM won't really speed things up. It just ends up sitting there, doing nothing. Crazy, right? Myth 2. Just cranking up your RAM speed won't magically make your system super fast. You know, it's more about balance. In truth, RAM speed matters, but only in specific scenarios like gaming or video editing. Even then, gains are often minimal. Myth, you need to match RAM brands and sizes perfectly. Here's the thing, mixing RAM is totally doable, but you've got to keep some compatibility rules in mind. Okay, myth, RAM is the end-all be-all for gaming. But guess what? It's not. Here's the deal. RAM definitely helps, but it's really the GPU and CPU that have a much bigger impact on frame rates and graphics quality. You know what I mean? Good news. RAM upgrades are often the easiest and cheapest way to boost performance. But not all systems are upgradable, especially laptops. A 2015 laptop with 4GB RAM, upgraded to 8GB boot time cut in half. A gaming rig with 16GB RAM saw smoother frame rates and fewer crashes. A creator editing 4K video upgraded to 32GB, no more stuttering timelines. Have you upgraded your RAM? Share your experience in the comments. We might feature it in a future video. RAM isn't just a number, it's the heartbeat of your computer's performance. Whether you're gaming, creating, or just trying to get through your day, understanding RAM gives you the power to take control. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and hit the bell so you never miss a drop of digital wisdom. Until next time, stay curious, stay powerful, and keep learning.